Alex Flores wanted to know if I had any advice for foreigners working in Korea, and I do. I'm going to give you 3 tips. Here's number 1, Alex. Obviously, it's going to vary depending on what your job is and what your field is, but one thing that I wish I knew how to do better when I was learning Korean is express doubt. I mean, this is the same in any culture really, right? Some people are opinionated, some people are less opinionated, and you just kind of have to learn how to put things in a way that is polite and respectful, but also get your point across. And here's the tip part, because I think Korean people do it with this grammar point a lot. It's "을까 싶다," which is I want to do this, but I'm not 100% sure. Now, there are other ways to express that feeling, but you should master that grammar point in particular, Alex, because that's going to come up at least once a meeting. So my second piece of advice is that you should research your own visa situation, because it changes every 6 months and no workplace can keep up with immigration. Hi Lee, it's yourself, from the future. Be prepared for a million questions about visas. So visas are very, very complicated, and you have to check with immigration because a lot of them have restrictions. For example, some visas are actually tied to your specific place of employment, so you're not allowed to moonlight or freelance or do second gigs on the side at all. There's also a lot of visas that require you to have a full-time working contract with a Korean company before they'll even take in your application for that visa. Some visas even require that the field that you're working in be related to your major at university. I know, but that's one of the requirements for some of the visas. So those are just 3 examples of some of the restrictions that your visas can have. And obviously they're going to vary by what your major is and where you're coming from, so that's why immigration made a phone line that you can call to ask. So do your research, know what visas you're on, know what the restrictions are, and, follow the laws, because you're a guest in this country. Okay, last and final piece of advice for foreigners working in Korea is inmek. Inmek is really, really important. It's basically just your network, your personal network. This is true everywhere in the world. Networking is really important. Having a peer group, having a mentor, having people that you can call on is really, really great. But the difference is that you're not from Korea, which means you don't have the built-in connections from your hometown, from your university, from your family. You're missing that whole network. So when you come here, you basically have to start again from scratch. It's going to take more work, I think, to find the inyeon, the thing that connects you to the other person, and you're going to have to work harder to try and build as many connections. But if you do it, you might have a better working experience. Just a thought. So those are my 3 pieces of advice. I don't know if they're any good. I don't know if they were helpful, but if you have any more questions about working life or want to hear me talk about anything else, swipe up and let me know.